Hello everybody, welcome to this presentation, Levelling Up Digital Tools for Heritage and Culture. My name is Sarah Fellows and I work for Heart of Worcestershire College. But before that, I worked in heritage engagement for nearly 15 years across various different heritage sites, museums, various different places in the West Midlands. So my background is very much in heritage and culture, but now I work in EdTech, education technology. I am part of a team at Heart of Worcestershire College who specialise in blended learning. As part of the Blended Learning Consortium. Now, I've always loved digital just in all its forms. In my early years of my career, it was very innovative to have a Twitter account. So, we've come quite a long way. But sort of as time's gone by and we found more things to be interested in, that's very much led me towards where I am now. In my current role, although so I started with the college in March and I have learnt so much since I've been here about different tools that are used more commonly in the education sector, and every time I see something new, my first thought is, oh gosh, heritage and culture could do so much with that. So the purpose of this presentation is just to highlight a few of the favourite things that I've either used for a long time or have discovered more recently, which I think people like yourselves can take and run with and do some amazing things with. So that's the point of this presentation, really. Now, also one of the things that I've done since joining Heart of Worcestershire College is become a Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert, which is a mouthful to say. So you'll hear me talking about various Microsoft and Microsoft partner products as part of what I'm doing today, not the only things. I'll talk a bit more about what that means later and how you could become a Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert too, if you wanted to. So for a lot of people, I know that digital will have been something that when lockdown started was suddenly a priority in terms of how do we get our message out there when people aren't able to physically access our sites, our places. But that's not all there is to digital work. There's so much that you can do with digital when you are open, either in partnership to being open to an experience that happens on site or digital actually on your site. Digital has so much to offer in terms of growing your narratives to tell new stories or to tell the same stories but in new ways. Now, I know there are so many different digital tools out there and it's hard to know what the best ones are or what are even good, what's worth your time to go and have a look at. So in my presentation today, I'm going to be handpicking a few digital tools that cover a range of different applications. Most of the things I'm going to talk about today are free, and they will help you in lots of different ways with engagement, but primarily whether that's with schools, families, the wider public or more. You'll also find things here that help with your own professional development, and lots more besides as well. So really the sky is the limit. The world is your oyster in terms of what you can do with some of these digital tools, and that's why I've picked these ones particularly to talk about, because there are hundreds, thousands more out there that are equally great, and have equally wonderful applications that you can use them for, but these ones I'm hoping will be a great springboard for you, whether you've just started with digital or whether you've actually done quite a bit with digital already and you're looking for the way to kind of level up yourself, your digital practice and find new ways of engaging with people digitally. So the first digital tool that I wanted to talk about is called CANVA. Now, if you haven't heard of CANVA before, CANVA is a digital design tool and it makes creating professional looking graphics so very easy. It's free to sign up to CANVA. And for the free account, you can get access to something like 250,000 different templates across a whole range of different uses, presentations, social media, content, graphics, animations, quizzes, videos, you name it, Canva can make it and has templates for you to use to create it with. They also offer a pro membership, which allows you to do more. It has a greater cloud storage. So in Canva, all of your work is hosted online, so it's accessible from wherever you are. And with the free account, you'll get a basic amount of cloud storage. With the pro account, you get an awful lot more. You can also, with the pro account, work in teams together, so you can have multiple people from your organisation to collaborate on individual documents. You can create a brand kit that you share between all of you, with things like corporate colours, fonts, you know, if you've got a colour palette that you use, you can put that in there, particular templates that you want to use again and again. And the pro membership, although it can have a cost to it, if you are a non-profit, then you can have pro for free. At the moment, it's for 5 people in your organisation, I believe, but it's always worth investigating because Canva is great. If you don't already have an in-house design team creating things for you, or you're not already using something like, you know, Adobe Illustrator, InDesign, then you should get Canva because it is so quick, so easy to use, and it's just a great way of being able to produce things that are really on trend, because they're constantly updating their templates all the time. You really get a sense of what's fashionable in the design world without you having to go out and do the hard work and look for it. It's just there for you already all the time. So let's take a look at Canva. So this is their website. You can get there by typing in www.canva.com, or you can just type Canva into Google and you'll find it really easily there. You can see on their main page it lists some of the things that you might want to make with them that are most popular. Presentations, videos, social media posts, reports, posters, flyers, cards, Instagram stories. But if we hover over templates here at the top, you can see that there's an awful lot more to it than that. You can even design entire websites with Canva if you want to. T-shirts, certificates, a YouTube intro. You know, there's loads of different things that you can do with Canva. Basically, anything that you can imagine that you need to design, there will be a template for it on Canva, or you'll be able to repurpose something. You can start with a completely blank canvas on Canva if you want to as well. Editing things on Canva is really simple to do. So you can see as we're scrolling through here, reports, posters, Facebook posts, gives you the idea of how these things look, what they might be like. If we click on one of them, we get the option to edit it. So any of these different elements are editable. You can click and edit the text. By typing something in, you can change the position of things on the page. You can change your colour schemes. It'll pick out document colours for you, or you can go with anything else you want, or you can pick a colour using code as you would in any other way. You can change the pictures. The photo library will be available for you, and you can type in whatever it is that you might want to be looking for. If you want to swap out the pictures of flowers for some other flowers, then you can do that and just drop it in and it magically puts it into the background. So it's really easy to use to change your images around, give it a really different look. You can immediately change the fonts to give them a different style, however you want, and then as soon as you're ready to download, you just click the download button and it'll save it straight to your computer. When you're signed in, and if you're logged into your pro account, you can even publish directly to social media from this point. So you don't have to even save it to your computer if you don't want to. You can publish it straight out to your social media accounts, and that's a function of the pro accounts that you can do that. Speaking of pro accounts, let's see what you get for your money if you are having your pro, which, like I say, as a non-profit, you can get for free. Everything that you get in your free account, plus over 75 million different stock images, videos, audio, illustrative graphics, all kinds of things. that 100 GB of cloud storage, which is really useful, scheduling your social media content, and this one here, which is really, really invaluable, which is your one-click design magic resize. So this allows you to create an image, say maybe in a square format for Instagram, and then with a single click to resize it to be a Twitter banner, and another click you resize it again to be a Facebook post, and then with another click it's an A4 poster, and on and on and on, as much as you like. So you can get a really cohesive brand look across lots of different elements that you're designing. So my second digital tool is a website called the Microsoft Educator Center. Now, this is Microsoft's own training center for educators, basically, and that isn't just school teachers. That is anybody who is an educator in any form. So that does include heritage and cultural educators like yourselves. Now, it covers Microsoft software, obviously, but also some of their partners, so people like Flipgrid, Minecraft, Wakelet, loads of other bits of software that I had never heard of before until I discovered the Microsoft Educator Center. The training that's on there will provide you with CPD for your engagement work that you're doing. That can start with a training course that might be an hour or even less, through to things that could take you days, weeks, months to complete, which are particularly in depth and on different subjects. One of the great things that I found on there was a whole series of courses about using Microsoft software to improve accessibility for students, and I use that word in the broadest possible sense, not just students in schools, but anybody who wants to learn. You'll be amazed at some of the inclusive things that some of the Microsoft Office programs can do that you never realised that they could do. I will talk a bit more about some of them later, but anything from like the accessibility checkers, which are built in, right the way through to immersive readers, live subtitling, all kinds of things. And there are loads of courses about allowing software to make your engagement work more accessible. So I absolutely recommend you go and have a look at that. It's free. I've said this before, but I feel like I should emphasize it. Not just to do the courses, but also you can get free accreditation through the Educator Centre. So you can become a Microsoft Innovative Educator by completing the certain number of points on the site, and that equates to about 2 hours of training. So it's really not a lot at all, and that gives you a little Microsoft Innovative Educator digital badge that you can put in your email signature and anywhere else that you like. If you really find the Educator Centre useful and you suddenly think of a whole load of really clever ways to embed these digital tools into your learning and you're really into it, you could apply to become a Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert, which is what I am, as I mentioned at the start. So the process for applying for that is really simple. You create a little application, send it off. That's free to do as well, and they announce the MIEEs, as they call them, once a year. And then you become part of like this global community of other MIEEs as well, who are all sort of supporting one another to grow and develop and improve our practice. One of the other great things about the Educator Centre is that they're constantly adding new content to it. So you can always stay ahead of the curve. What is going to become interesting to people like next week, next month, you will already have heard of it because you'll be sort of keeping tabs on what is up and coming in the education technology world, which is really great. So let's have a look around the Microsoft Educator Center. Now you can get to the Educator Center by typing in education.microsoft.com into your browser, or you can search for Microsoft Educator Center and it will bring you here. So I'm logged into my account here at the moment. You'll see that on the home page it gives you an idea of popular courses at the moment, so what's interesting now. So you can see I was talking about accessibility. Here's a course you can do. This is sort of learning resource style with accessibility. There's a kind of magazine-y style on the homepage, which will give you an idea of some of the stuff that's being talked about now, things you can get involved with. And then here in training, you have the opportunity to look at all the courses available, to look at webinars and online events, or to look at learning paths. So to click on courses will give you a list of all of the courses, and there are a lot of them across a huge number of different subjects, pieces of software, types of learning. As I'm scrolling through here, you might see some things like Minecraft, which you'll definitely recognise. There's coding related things, absolutely all kinds. But you might want a bit of direction in where you're going, so you can look at learning paths. And this will allow you to choose something that sounds interesting to you and then follow that through with a set of learning about it. So it might be that you want to know more about all of the Office 365 suite of programs and how you can use them better. So you'll see in this learning path, these are all the things that it thinks that you should have a look at: Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Sway, OneNote, PowerPoint Recorder, all of that kind of thing that you can see there and have a look at, which is really great. On the Programs tab, it'll tell you more about the Microsoft Innovative Educator program. So if you want to know more about becoming an innovative educator, innovative educator expert, or a trainer, then you can learn more about those on the Educator Centre website as well. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was Microsoft Sway. Now, Microsoft Sway is an online presentation building software. So it's different to PowerPoint in that it's more of a kind of interactive magazine style. The things that it creates are not slides that you click through, but sort of a whole cohesive document that you can explore as a user. And so it's great for creating interactive engagement documents. And it doesn't take long to do so. You can do so in minutes. And these could be things like digital worksheets for schools, newsletters for your members, volunteers, interactive activities for families to do, and lots more. They're all hosted online on the Sway website, so people don't need to download anything, staff don't need to download anything to make them, and people don't need to download anything to consume them afterwards as well. It's all dealt with up in the cloud. They're designed to be responsive, so they're equally good to view on a mobile phone as they are on a computer screen, and everything else in between as well. So they'd be great for things that were intended to be carried around a site or around a gallery or something, just as much as they would something that gets experienced at home. As I said, Sway is accessible online at sway.office.com. And you don't need any specific software to be able to get to it. So you can just go onto the website, immediately see the Sways that you've worked on before, once you've logged into your account, or a whole load of templates that you can start exploring from as well, and create something that's good for you. Your Sway can include videos, text, web links, images, and lots more. There's lots of ways of presenting these things as well, things like image stacks, comparison images, all kinds of things like that too, which can make the document look a lot more engaging. It's, as I said, not supposed to look like a series of slides that you click through, but more of this kind of responsive magazine style. Because of the way it works, you can change your designs in seconds. So by clicking on some of the buttons, you can make a sweeping change that affects everything in your document: fonts, colours, layouts, whether it's scrolling side to side or top to bottom as well. Now, Sway is included in Office 365, so if you are a 365 user already, then you will have access to Sway for free. Now, if you're not a 365 user, do remember that Microsoft offers free and discounted versions of Office 365 for non-profits. At the moment, that's free for up to 10 staff members at a non-profit, and then $5 per user per month for additional users on top of that. So if you're not already using 365 in any capacity, because of cost considerations, then it's really worth looking into the free version of Office 365 for non-profits, even if it's just for a few members of your team, because it's going to allow you access to a whole host of things that you might not otherwise have access to. So even if you've already got Office on your desktop machines, you won't have access to things like Microsoft Sway. So it's really great to investigate Office 365, even if it's just for a few people, to be able to use some of these applications for yourself, and see some of the things that they can do. One of those things that you'll have access to through Office 365 is the use of web apps for some of the programs that you probably use already, things like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Now, using the web app for PowerPoint gives you the ability to use something called PowerPoint Live. PowerPoint Live is a really powerful tool, particularly for access and inclusivity. So it allows you to do things like obviously present live to an audience via computer to any other computers anywhere that want to watch. So you basically just provide them with a QR code or a web link and they can watch you presenting live, which obviously has great applications anyway. But it also does something really cool, which is it'll do live subtitling. So as you're talking, PowerPoint will listen to what you're saying and provide live subtitles for what you're saying. This is obviously great because if you've got people who are hard of hearing, they can follow along with the words of what you're saying. If you're like me and you talk very quickly, then you'll find that people can go back and read what you've just said in case they missed it. People want to go back and look at what you said earlier, then it's all in the transcript. One of the other great things it does, because of this live subtitling ability, is it will do live translations. So PowerPoint Live will translate what you're saying into any language that you choose or that the people who are watching you are choosing. They can choose themselves when they log on, or what I want to hear this in French, for example. You'll still be talking in English, but the subtitles that come up for them will be translated into French for them. Obviously, this has amazing applications, possibilities if you're working with people for whom English is not a first language, as a sort of backup of what it is that you're saying. So PowerPoint Live, really great tool if you are doing any kind of presentation. That could be education focused, or that could be, you know, adult groups, communities, anything like that. Investigate PowerPoint Live because it's got the possibility to completely transform how we can present our engagement work when it comes to language. So next up is Wakelet. Now, Wakelet is an online tool. It's a kind of pin board. Now, if you're familiar with Pinterest, then you've got the kind of concept gathering together things you find around the web. But Wakelet is more than Pinterest is. It allows you to create online collections of information, not just in text or image form, but to include a much richer range of content. So social media archives, tweets, things like that, websites, videos, images. You can include songs from Spotify, PDF documents, lots of things like that, and include your own captions or commentary that go alongside them. And when you're creating your Wakelets, you can either work with the people within your team, or you could work with a specially invited group of people, so a community group you were working with, for example, or a school, a class, or you can invite anybody to it with an open link that invites anybody to contribute to the Wakelet. Now, the applications for this are quite broad. You could be collecting social history and keeping it all together in one place through the Wakelet. You could be creating a community curated exhibition of something that's in your collection. You could create a virtual exhibition with it. There are lots of different ways that you could possibly use Wakelet. And in terms of privacy, you have the choice whether you keep your Wakelet private, that is just to people who you give the link to, or even within your own organisation, or whether you make it public and something that everybody can access either to view or to contribute to. So you can see here a wakelet that I have started to create. I've called it the Ultimate Museum. Imagine that you could create the Ultimate Museum, what would be in it? So you can see I've started here to add some content to my wakelet. So I've got a picture of the Rosetta Stone, and I've got a video from YouTube of the Northern Lights, which is just two great things that exist, the Northern Lights and the Rosetta Stone. It's easy to add extra content onto your wakelet. You can add things like text, YouTube videos, tweets, bookmarks for the websites, PDFs. You can see lots of choices of things here that you can use. You have the choice of displaying in different ways as well. So compact view, media rich view, or a mood board view, which is quite nice because it sort of allows a much greater range of things to be seen on the slide at once. And up here, as I say, you've got these different privacy settings for how accessible you want the board to be, whether everybody can see it, only the people with the link can see it, or only you can see it, like when you're still working on it. Now, I wanted to briefly mention Google Tour Creator because it's a tool I found a few months ago that looks really exciting. It allows you to create a 360-degree virtual reality tour using just your phone and your computer in a few minutes. It's completely free to use, as a lot of Google stuff is. You can use footage directly from Google Street View if you don't have any 360 imagery yourself, although I'll talk in a minute about a way to create some 360 footage using your phone if you don't have any. You could use information within that, embed hotspots that had text and images on, and if you've got 360 images from somewhere else, you can import them directly into Google Tour Creator as well. So why am I not talking about this more? You might wonder. Well, that's because Google actually announced last month that they're discontinuing Google Tour Creator in summer 2021. So you've got about 6 months left of life with it. Now, I still think that if you have something that you would like to create a virtual exhibition of or a virtual tour of, and you've never used any kind of 360 software or anything like that before, I would still recommend giving Google Tour Creator some of your time to have a look at, particularly if you're creating it for something that's time limited anyway, that you think will have all of its use in the short term. So maybe you're documenting how your historic house is decorated for Christmas because people aren't able to get in and see the big Christmas tree themselves, for example. Yeah. So there are plenty of things that you might still want to use this for, even though you should be aware that it will go offline in the summer. Now, normally what happens when Google takes stuff offline is that for a while you can access things, but you can't create new things. And then after a while, things just sort of drop off the edge of the map. So just be aware of that. But it's really worth taking the time to go and have a look at it because it's so easy and quick to use. And there are so many things that you can use it for because of how quick it is, and it doesn't require any sort of financial investment either, because you've probably got everything you would need to make things with it already. Now, I mentioned that there is a way to create 360-degree images for free, and that is using Google Cardboard Camera. Now, this is worth looking at whether or not you're planning on using Google Tour Creator, because there are plenty of applications for 360 images beyond just that. Cardboard Camera is a completely free app made by Google. Most phones will now run Cardboard Camera. When it first launched, it was kind of high-end Android, and that was about it, but I believe that you can now get it in the Apple Store, and most people's Android phones will run it now as well. Basically, all you do to take a 360 image, you download this app, you stand in the middle of the space that you wish to take the 360 image of, you press the go button on the app, and then you just spin in a circle slowly, and the app takes lots and lots of pictures of your environment, and then it stitches them together to create a 360-degree image all the way around that it saves to your photo account. You can then view these in 3D if you have a cardboard viewer and your phone. You can buy these cardboard viewers, which aren't always made of cardboard, confusingly. In fact, I recommend the plastic ones. You can buy cardboard ones actually made of cardboard for sort of £8 or £9, but you can buy plastic ones for £12–15. So, you know, they're really not expensive at all, and provide a really great, low cost, easy, very immediate way of capturing what your environment looks like, and then showing it to somebody somewhere else within a different space. Now that might be that you're sharing these images on social media, on your website for general visitors to use, or it might be that you're sending them specifically out to community groups, schools, or something like that, because you want them to be able to see a space that they currently can't access in person for whatever reason, whether that's because your building is currently shut, or whether it's because you're trying to take them behind the scenes into the stores or into the attic, or, you know, wherever. So there's loads of applications for the 360 images that you can create with Cardboard Camera, and because it is completely free and takes seconds to download, I really suggest you go and download it and have a play with it yourself. Now, I did say at the start that most of the things I was going to show you were going to be free, and you'll have noticed that so far everything has been. So it's time to show you something that isn't. This is ThingLink. Now, if you like the idea of the Google Tour Creator, but you're looking for something that is a bit more high-end, so this is showing you ThingLink with a ThingLink that I have created, which is about exploring the Northern Lights. To create this whole thing probably took me about 15–20 minutes, not very long at all. So it's very intuitive, it's very easy to use. As you can see, it's slowly rotating its way through a 360 photo, which is somewhere up in the Arctic Circle. And then I've created these hotspots which exist within the photosphere, and you can click on them and something will happen. So this one is a photo gallery. You can look at different pictures of Northern Lights around the world. This one is a video about satellites and shooting stars, because there's one happening in the background there. There's some more images. That's about what constellations are in the night sky. You can use different types of icons. This one will take you to a website. You can click to explore. It'll take you off to somewhere else. The kinds of media that you can embed in a ThingLink, you can use your own things, or you can draw from their extensive library of imagery, both in terms of 360 images and other images as well. You can include videos, web links, image galleries, embedded flip grids, wakelets, anything like that. There's a massive list of partner software that you can use alongside ThingLink, which makes this perfect for things like virtual gallery tours, field trips, exhibitions, behind the scenes experiences, and so much more, because there's so much possibility. You can choose where you put your hotspots, what happens when people click on them. As you can see now, I'm dragging around it, and these 360 images, the ones that you can find in ThingLink's library already, are true 360. They're in all directions. But you could upload your own images if you wanted to, even ones taken with Cardboard Camera, like we talked about earlier. Now, ThingLink has a range of different licensing options available. You can try it for free, so if you want to just sign up for an account and have a play, then you can do that and get a sense of what it's like and whether or not it's any good for you, and then get in touch with them and discuss, depending what you want to use it for, how much it would cost. But you can embed these on your website. You can send them out to people, sort of with links on emails, and have them hosted by ThingLink. There's lots of opportunities for the things that you can use ThingLink for, and I really think it's worth mentioning, even though it is something that has a cost associated with it, just because of how great the objects are that you can create with ThingLink. So there we go. I feel like I've spoken for ages, and yet I have barely covered anything at all. We've really just scratched the surface of some of the things that are out there that can be useful to you in your engagement work. But I hope that what we have covered has been useful, and I hope it's been an inspiration for you to go out and look at it some more yourself, explore it, maybe have a dabble with it, play around, see what you can do with it, and to look further as well and see what else exists, because there are so many tools available, and so many of them are free as well, and really easy to pick up and learn and use. Now, if there's anything we've covered in this session that you want to know more about, whether that's, using Canva, recommendations of courses to take in the Microsoft Educator Centre, maybe you want to know more about becoming a Microsoft Innovative Educator or a Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert, any of that or anything else, just get in touch with me. My email address is there. I am sfellows@howecollege.ac.uk. Drop me a line. I'm very happy to chat about any of this or anything else. If you've got a question because you've got something in mind that you want to do digitally and you don't know of a tool that will allow you to do it, feel free to drop me a line and ask. And if I know of anything, if I've come across anything, then I will let you know and point you in the right direction. Also mention at this point, the Blended Learning Consortium, which I work as a part of, we do work for schools, obviously colleges, universities, but also corporate organisations, government organisations, everybody basically. We create engaging learning materials, and if you're interested in commissioning us for a project, then please get in touch, because we would love to hear from you. As I say, we work with all sorts of people, and me personally, because of my background in heritage and culture, I would love to work with some heritage and cultural organisations to create some really engaging learning materials for you. We have a great track record in making videos, interactive learning sessions. We work in Articulate Storyline, Rise, amongst other things. We could create virtual tours for you or anything else. So if you're thinking, oh, yeah, I really want to get involved with this, but I don't know where to start, I'd quite like to commission somebody else to do it for me, then get in touch, because we'd love to help you with that as well. So thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this and found it useful, or at least some bits of it, if not everything. And all the best of luck with all of your digital endeavours in the future. I am sure they will be amazing, and I can't wait to see them. Thanks. Bye.